Hey everybody, Jeff from Corrugated Cavalier here. This is a little bit of a different video. This is going to go into how I went about making some invitations for a birthday deed of arms that I'm putting on in October, as well as just like a quick kind of triple review of some things that I used in creating these invitations. So first of all, the deed of arms is going to be kind of like a late 14th century, 1380s, 1390s kind of affair. So I thought that this book would be very helpful. This is Royal Jousts at the End of the 14th Century, translated and edited by Stephen Mollberger. It's very short, but it has a lot of great information about what you could expect at Deeds of Arms, as well as some translations of accounts and poetry and invitations and stuff like that. So that's actually where I started. It has a translation of a poetic invitation by Deschamps from the Joust at Saint Denis in May of 1389. So this is kind of really right in the area that I'm looking for, even though the culture that I'm trying to represent is Italian. This is the closest thing that I could find. And I'm going to read just a tiny bit of the beginning of this. Arms, amours, joy and pleasure, hope, desire, remembrance, hardiness. Youth also, manners and bearing, humble glances cast lovingly. Fine persons and fair, adorned richly, bethink ye of this new-come season, this May Day, this great and beautiful feast, which by the king is held at Saint Denis. Joust well and maintain your cause, thus will you be honored and held dear. So I didn't use that word for word. Well, some parts I did. But the translation that I came up with for my invitation, and it goes on, that's just the very first part of it. I kept this short. Mine is Dearest Sir Blank, because there are a few invitees. Arms, amours, joy and pleasure, hope, desire, remembrance, hardiness. That's pretty much word for word. Fine persons and fair, adorned richly. 1 week before All Saints' Day, this great and beautiful feast, held by the king in honor of Sir Goffredo. That's me. 3 passes of the lance for each, and 3 passes of the sword. 1 pass of dagger shall break any ties. Those coming from afar and those close alike shall have safe harbor and eat and drink to their heart's content. So I wanted to get in some information about what the combatants could expect as well at the affair. So also that safe harbor for those coming from afar is kind of a common theme throughout a lot of invitations. So I had that then translated into somebody's best attempt at medieval Italian, and that was Simone Normani. If you're watching this, Simone, big thanks to you. I know him from Federico Malaguti's Discord. He is Italian, and while not a linguist per se, he has a big interest in linguistics and is also a Fiore practitioner. So he took his best shot at coming up with a translation for that. I'm not going to read it because my pronunciation of Italian is horrible in the first place, and trying to do medieval Italian is going to be even worse. So once I had the translation, I kind of put out some feelers for somebody who could scribe this invitation. And I put out some feelers with somebody that my instructor knows from the SCA. And I made a deal with Cindy McGee from Crow Studio Arts. And I'll put her link to Instagram and her website below. So Cindy McGee was totally awesome to work with on this project. I'm going to show it to you in a second. I think you'll be impressed. Totally awesome to work with. She was enthusiastic. She's an SCA person, so she kind of gets this. However, it was her first time with Italian in this particular hand of this era and this of the Italian hand of this time. But she showed me works in progress and always checked in with me and kind of worked with me on like what I wanted. She worked with me on like keeping costs and what I was comfortable with and what was fair to her as well. So big recommendation. So let me show you this product. So this is what Cindy came up with. I am very, very impressed, and this really sets the tone for my birthday deed of arms. It looks a lot like the Fiore manuscript. There's some imitation gold in there. I don't know if you can really see that. And this is one of 3. I'd only wanted to take one out of the protective plastic at the moment. So this is fantastic, and I'm very, very happy with it. So Cindy, thank you very, very much. Her links to her webpage and her Instagram, once again, are below. So the last piece of this invitation was I decided that if I'm going this far out, I might as well seal it in wax as well. So this is part of the kind of the third part of the review. I got some things from letterseals.com for sealing, and I'm very impressed with this stuff as well. This is a custom seal. It's a G for Gofredo. It's kind of hard to see. I'll kind of show what the seal ends up looking like in a second. And this is, of course, I had to go with an Italian silver wax melting spoon to really get the full effect, and just some beads of wax. This stuff was not quite as expensive as I thought it would be. I thought the custom seal would be a lot more than it was. And I was very impressed with this company. This stuff is beautiful. Let me show you how it looks in the end. I'm practicing on just like the invites to people who are not armored combatants in my birthday. And I got a little bit of soot on this one from the melting spoon, but the seal ends up looking like this. I don't know how well you can see it. I'll do my best. Yeah, the camera's kind of having a hard time focusing on it. But it ends up looking really, really nice. So that's a rundown of how I ended up coming up with the invites for my birthday deed of arms. One of the people I'm inviting, if you don't know the channel, is Connor from the Hipster Longsword channel, all about Vadi Longsword. He's actually coming up from Philly, so especially for people traveling a little bit further, I figured something like that would be a nice incentive. But he doesn't know it's coming, so if you know him, don't tell him. Okay, thank you all for coming by the channel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. I hope you enjoyed this kind of different video from me. There will be more stuff about my birthday deed of arms coming out in the coming weeks. Yeah, once again, thank you all for coming by the channel. Please click like, subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, @CorrugatedCavo1. Be good to each other, and ciao.